A mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, staying warm, along with Matthew Lester, where once again we are looking at some chillier temperatures, and we did have a little bit of snow over the last 24 hours, making travel conditions a little tenuous this morning, but not nearly as bad as what it was yesterday morning for some of you commuters. Sunshine is the word today. It looks as though we're not going to have too many more days like this, with the sun anyway, until we move a little bit later on, more than likely later on in the week, if that. It does appear as though we're going to be in a cloudy spell. We're going to owe it all to a high pressure system, which right now is located over the Red River Valley. That's the reason why we're having cool air and we're getting breaks in the clouds. But as that high pressure dips down to the south and then loops down around underneath us, we are going to see an increase in the clouds. We're going to see a little bit of a change of wind direction. And eventually we're going to warm up as we approach and get into the weekend before another system will be moving in, affecting our weather. And we're going to have some of the coldest temperatures so far this winter. That'll be coming up next week. Before we get to all of that, though, Matthew, what do you have on the thermometer?
Currently, over at the airport, it's sunny at 14. Over in Midland, it's sunny at 16. Here at Radio Center, it's partly sunny at 13 degrees. We have northwest winds at 13 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 30.13, and it's steady.
Again, the northwest wind, a function of that high pressure with its clockwise circulation that's coming out of the northwest and pulling that cold air down over top of us. We will struggle to get maybe 3 or 4 degrees more out of this by the time we're all done. But as we look at the day today, we're going to see more in the way of clouds as we go into the afternoon hours, and clouds again tonight. Some scattered snow showers will be around, little strips, little bands, and then it looks as though tomorrow we're going to see some breaks in those clouds. I got a funny feeling that we're not going to see a whole lot of measurable amount of snow as we go through the nighttime hours and into the day tomorrow. It's just that we are going to be losing that sun. As we work our way through the tail end of the work week, starting with tomorrow and then moving into Friday, we're going to have a gradual increase in our temperatures. Instead of 18 degrees for a high, tomorrow it looks like about 22. Then Thursday, we should hit the freezing mark, 32 degrees. But again, clouds, snow showers will be around. Moving into Friday, middle 30s, 35, 36, not out of the question for a high. And on Saturday, we're going to be looking at 32 for a high. Sunday, 20 for a high. And then Monday, we're going to be looking at maybe 10 degrees for a high, not for a low. Nighttime, Sunday night is when we're going to come real close to zero. There were a number of locations that were single digits overnight last night. Out at MBS International, we dropped down to, the dew point was at 1. The temperatures, though, overnight were not all that bad, 9 for a low overnight at MBS. The rest of us looking at, other than Frankenmuth at 8, the rest of us were looking at low temperatures in the low to mid-teens over much of the lower peninsula. The only other exception other than Frankenmuth when it came to single digits was Morenci down in southeastern Michigan. They started the morning off at 8. We go a little bit further to the north. We're seeing some chilly temperatures there. Atlanta, 8 degrees. East Tawas at 8. Engadine at 3. Fife Lake at 7. The Gaylord area coming in at 6 degrees. Gladwin had 6. Glenny looking at 8. Harrisville at 9. Lake City at 5. Lupton coming in at 3 overnight. Mayo at 9. Standish, you had 3 degrees overnight low. Traverse City at 9. West Branch reporting 7. Then up in the Upper Peninsula, looks like Sault Ste. Marie was reporting 7 degrees there. We did have a few more temperatures in the single digits. Nobody really, for the most part, was coming in below zero other than Alger. Alger reported a low of 4 below. West Branch, they were at 2. Oscoda at 7. Rogers City at 9. Kinross at 6. Newberry reporting 5 degrees. Roscommon was at 8. Snow. There was little strips of snow yesterday afternoon and last evening that did make the road conditions a little slick. But as far as accumulating snow, depth of snow, you got to go into the northwest corner of the Lower Peninsula and over on the west side of the Lower Peninsula to see some snowfall amounts. And we did see, well, anywhere from about 2.5 to as much as 5 inches of snow reported in the lake effect areas in the Lower Peninsula. So what are we looking at? Well, we alluded to it. We do have sun, but we will be seeing an increase in the clouds and an increase in some scattered snow shower activity. We will have some wind speeds picking up as we go into the afternoon, coming out of the northwest and eventually out of the west. Tonight, we'll have wind gusts out of the west, gusting up to about 30 miles per hour. So 15 for a low tonight is really going to feel cold. We'll be looking at wind chills well below zero tonight. Tomorrow, some sun, some flurries, 22 for a high, 17 for a low. The high pressure that we were talking about over the Red River Valley will be over southern Illinois. So that's going to signify the beginning of a warming trend because Thursday, clouds, snow showers, 32 for a high. We'll have still a west breeze gusting up to 25 miles per hour. So the lake effect is not going to die down all that much. Then on Friday, clouds, 36 for a high. Friday night, we're going to see some clouds. We'll see some snow showers, snow flurries, and we'll have some rain mixed in on Friday night after midnight as we go into Saturday. Our low on Friday night will be 26, but whatever rain shower activity we get late Friday night and early Saturday morning will be freezing rain. Morning snow on Saturday, 32 for a high, but then as things go through the morning hours, that snow shower activity will be moving out. Mostly cloudy skies for a good part of the day on Saturday and Saturday night, a low of 10 on Saturday night. Then on Sunday, clouds, breaks in the clouds, some sun, 20 degrees for a high, 0 for a low on Sunday night. And then the cold cold spell starts. Cold spell, many of you might remember last year, starting about the 14th of the month, through the 21st, we experienced the coldest air we received all winter. That was in January of last year. We saw 2 below zero for a low a year ago today. 22 was our high. And then we saw a lot of zeros and below zeros to run for about 4 to 5 days in a row. So again, the period of the 14th through the 21st. We saw some bitter cold temperatures, and then the warm up started, and we had some of the warmest temperatures we had seen in recorded history as we moved through the tail end of January and into February. Record high in this state is 52, set back in 1932. The record low, 10 below zero, set in 2009. 2009 was the coldest ever, 14th of January. 12 was our high, 10 below was the low. And the warmest ever, 14th of January, 1932. 52 was our high, 38 was our low. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Abby Terwilliger from the Andersons, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
But again, this reminder, the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at High Fidelity Genetics. Farmers need to find ways in this market to put profit on the bottom line, and it starts with saving half the cost of seed before you even get started. That's what High Fidelity Genetics does for you. They offer non-GMO seed corn and soybeans that qualify for organic production, and test plots are proving that you do get the best for less with High Fidelity Genetics. Plus, you get more savings by working with them now. Contact them by going online at highfidelitygenetics.com, or you can call them at 515-434-7333. We say good morning to Abby Terwilliger over at the Andersons. Abby, how are you today?
Oh, not too bad. A little chilly, as you said. If you could get those the temperature up a little bit, I think me and some other people would be happy.
Well, we're working at it. Well, we'll warm it up for you for the weekend, at least the beginning of the weekend, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can warm it up just about as well as I can make these markets go up.
Oh, boy. What a lead in. Okay, what's going on, Abby?
Actually, right now we're kind of sitting pretty neutral. Old crop corn's at no change. Beans are up 1, wheat's up 3 right now. So not a huge drastic move on the board, especially, after the last couple days. Corn had been up 20 cents, soybeans up 54 cents. So it does not surprise me that it's kind of a little bit more of a calmer day. I guess right now on the board for hemlock, we have old crop corn at 425, new crop corn 391, old crop soybeans 1008, new crop 981, red wheat for next summer or this summer 504, and white wheat 544.
It is nice to hear that $10 figure, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it'll be really nice if we can get this new crop corn up to $4 too, which, I mean, it's close. We're at 391. Shouldn't take a whole lot necessarily to get it to go, but we all know how well that works when you're trying to get that last few pennies out. But definitely something to be talking to your merchant with, and at least getting orders in case it hits in the overnight or anything like that.
Yeah, because you never really know these days what's going on.
No, especially at 2 a.m. when everyone of us is normally sleeping. That's definitely why I try to tell guys to put in those orders for the numbers they want. One, just to kind of keep track of what they would like, but two, there's nothing saying that we won't get a 30-cent rally during the middle of the night. Something happens overseas, and that's a guaranteed way to be able to catch that.
Boy, that's a good idea. Abby, you take care. Have a great day, okay?
Yep, you as well.
Will do. Abby Twilliger over at the Andersons. Over to Doug Klein we go from Oppenheimer. The market report brought to you by Schaefer and Beerline. Those Ram professional trucks or Ram heavy-duty trucks, you want one? Well, now's the time to be buying one with confidence from a business-linked dealer that knows what customer satisfaction truly is. And that dealer is Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth, where Family and Service sells cars. Also over in Frankenmuth, Weiss Equipment. Those Farmall tractors that are ready to go to work for you, whatever it is, they've got snow attachments too on those. The job, whatever you need, they've got the right Farmall tractor to fit that need. 35 to 140 horses, they're available to you right now, anywhere from the value-packed compact Farmall A up to the deluxe compact Farmall C and C series with cabs. Farmall tractors available now. Remember, Can-Do comes in red. Those Farmalls are available at Weiss Equipment in Frankenmuth, doing it right longer. Morning, Doug. What are we looking at?
Well, the wholesale inflation came in a little less than expected, so that was happily greeted by Wall Street this morning, but that kind of faded, and so we're down just a slight bit on the stock markets. The dollar's down a little bit, about 60 ticks, so 109.35. That should lend some support to the commodities and the precious metals, which it is doing. Other than that, they're kind of just listening to all the goings on in Washington and all this other noise for the day. So sort of a quiet day. So here's your numbers. The March corn is 476, down a half a penny. September corn 457 3/4, up 1 penny. March soybeans 10.54 and 3/4, up 1 3/4. September soybeans 10.51 and a half, up 3/4 of a penny. The March wheat is 5.47 and 3/4, up 2 3/4, and September wheat 5.83, up 2 cents. Crude oil is 76.35, down 95 cents. Heating oil is 251.31, down 2 cents. Gasoline 210.36, up 3/10 of a penny. Natural gas is 2.37, down 5.9 cents. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.4367 Canadian. That's down 11 ticks. The dollar buys 157.98 yen. That's up 51 ticks. The euro is at 102.86, up 42 ticks. And the dollar is at 109.37, down 58 and a half ticks. Gold at 26.8480, up $6.20. Silver's 30.38, up 20 cents. Platinum's 9.39, down 24.70, and copper's at 433.15, up 6 cents.
All right. Doug, you take care. Have a good one, okay?
You too.
Will do. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. This program notes, join us tomorrow. We're going to be over at the Clearwater Farms Organic Expo. This is year number 3 of the expo. And this year, it's going to be held at the Doubletree by Hilton in downtown Bay City. January 15th and the 16th are the dates. 18 different speakers and nearly 50 exhibitors will be on hand to talk and answer questions. So stop by, say hello, and learn the latest as far as current commodity markets, organic farming techniques, and more at the Clearwater Farms Organic Expo at the Doubletree in downtown Bay City. And our broadcast will be brought to you by the folks at the Frankenmuth Credit Union as our farm tour starts off for 2025. Along with us right now from Greenstone Farm Credit, we have Mark Klett. Good morning, Mark. How you doing?
Great. A little snowy where I'm at in Lansing, but it's not too bad.
No, not too bad. You know, last week, Mark, we were talking about ECO. What does that stand for again?
That's Enhanced Coverage Option. It's a relatively new program that's been added into crop insurance over the last 4 or 5 years. And it basically adds a 95% trigger to your insurance policy. I think most everybody usually works, 70, 75, 80% are common numbers that people work with. But this adds another slice onto the top that could be up at 95%. And so it's looking at the price and the county yield, where everybody's individual policies goes off their own farm yields. But this one, it adds in the specter of using county yields as well. So it's a good way to kind of cover yourself 2 different directions.
Now, who's a good candidate for this, Mark?
Well, really, any grower that's looking at corn and soys. It's also available for wheat, but of course that timeline went past us. It's also available for dry beans. But in my world, I work with a lot of corn and soybean growers, and just about anybody that really has a policy would want to look at this. And one of the big things that's changed this year for it is the subsidy has essentially doubled, which effectively cuts the price in half for this product to add on. So it's going to be something you really want to look at.
Now, how does it pay out?
Okay, so you're looking at both the county yield and then the grain price. And of course, this is the time of year in crop insurance when we're watching that grain futures price. It'll start tracking in February, but you can start looking right now to the new futures price for corn and beans. And that's how our established price is going to be set. So right now, actually in the last few days, we've seen some increases in the corn and bean markets. Corn's running in that 450 range, and soybeans is running in the 1050 range. Again, that's for a new crop futures. So the higher those prices are, the more we want to look at ECO seriously, because the higher the price, the more likely it could fall in the fall time, and that's what will trigger a loss.
Mark, always good to talk. We really appreciate it. We'll talk to you again next Tuesday, okay?
great. Just reach out to us at greenstonefcs.com.
Very good. Marklett, thank you so much. Marklett with Greenstone Farm Credit Services. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, purchasing local soybeans, processing local beans, and marketing local Exceller meal, which is a high bypass soybean meal for your dairy herd. They've been doing it since 1991. Might be a really good idea to contact your nutritionist or local feed dealer today and ask them to check on Exceller meal, a high bypass soybean meal to maximize your dairy herd's production from the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese. Matthew, who do we have up now?
Up next, we have Craig Voorhees from the Rummel Insurance Agency.
Craig, good morning. How are you?
Good, Terry. How about yourself?
Hey, fantastic. You know, with all this cold weather in the forecast, I'm not going to talk about the above freezing temperatures. I think we feel the cold weather even more. And some folks wouldn't mind traveling to a little bit warmer area, which means traveling, maybe you're flying or you're getting there, but then you might want to rent a vehicle while you are there.
You are correct, Terry. I am not one of those folks that will be looking for a reprieve from the cold weather, but I'll be envious of the ones that are. And yes, when it comes to renting a car, there's been so many changes in the auto insurance world that before you travel, and if you had coverage for a rental car in the past, it's a good idea to make sure that's still on your policy and find out if it has changed any. Good chance it has. And then folks always say too, well, I get coverage from my credit card. Well, you might want to check on that too. And when all else fails, as much as we don't want to buy the insurance from the rental car company, it adds to your expense of the trip. Try to budget for it if you can. And it also, there's a few things that even if you get coverage from your auto policy or your credit card, that there's still some gaps in that coverage. When you buy the insurance from the rental car company, those gaps get filled in. So that's the unfortunate thing to do, or the right thing to do, I guess, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, no surprises. Just get yourself covered.
Yeah, and then you don't have to worry about anything while you're on vacation, because that's why we go on vacation and forget about things, right?
Yeah, there you go. Real good advice. Craig, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again in a couple days.
All right. Thanks, Terry.
You bet. Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain, your Dairyland seed dealer. Who's the guy you should talk to over there? Justin Varner. He's got the information on everything that's available right now at Dairyland Seeds. Remember, Dairyland Seed, they've got seed with your name on it from your friends at Freeland Bean and Grain since 1983, where serving you is their business. Eric Sawatsky joining us right now from Yo and Yo Accounting. And Eric, taxes. Fourth quarter estimated tax payments.
Yeah, here we are, Terry, in another tax filing year. Today, actually tomorrow, the 15th, is the deadline if you are self-employed, have a self-employed business, and you pay quarterly estimated taxes. That final payment is due tomorrow to avoid getting penalties. That also would apply if you had any changes in income during the year and you didn't have enough withheld. This is your last chance to get a payment in and have it be considered timely for 2024. Probably even more importantly for all of our farm clients out there, we're looking at the 15th as a possible date to make a payment for the farm income taxes as well. The advantage there, if a payment is made and it covers the required tax for 2024, then you actually have till April 15th to file that tax return that has a Schedule F or a farm schedule on it. If not, if that payment isn't made now, then you have till March 1st to file and pay tax in full, or you'll get penalties. So they give you a little extra time for those farmers and fishermen out there between the 15th and March 1st if you don't pay now. But if you do pay now, it buys you another month and a half.
Can't imagine they're trying to complicate things, Eric.
Of course not. Everything's simple with the IRS.
Yes, it is. You're going to get a penalty.
Exactly. Yeah, they'll take your money.
Yeah, you got it. Eric, thank you so much. We appreciate your information. We'll talk to you again soon, all right?
Sounds great.
Eric Sawatsky with Yo and Yo Accounting. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Krizak's House Family Restaurant. Hey, you got to supply the food for an event coming up down the road or like pretty quick. Might be a good idea to give them a call and get it set up. You'll be happy you did, not only because of the product that you're getting, but that you're beating the line, because things are really going to get crazy, and it might be a very good idea to call them now. 989-894-5531. And don't forget, they're a great place to dine in, too. Corner of Cass in Michigan on the south side of Bay City, Krizak's House Family Restaurant. What's going on in New York? Let's slide over to Baird and Company. We have Teresa on the line with us. What's happening, Teresa?
Good morning. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 111 points this morning at 42,185, 283 million shares traded. NASDAQ down 101 points at 18,984, 549 million shares traded there. Some stocks of local interest include Caterpillar at 367, up 450, Deere 428.33, down $1.58, CMS Energy 65.42, up 43, Dow 39.70, up 3, DuPont 74.39, down 4, Corteva 60.56, up 63, General Motors 50.99, up $1.05, Trinzio 4.55, up 21, Walmart 90.95, down 58, Huntington Bank 16.40, up 18, Independent Bank 33.54, up 69, and AT&T at 21.61, up a nickel.
Teresa, thank you so much. Have a good one. We'll talk to you again soon, all right?
Sounds great.
Teresa DeVoe over at Baird and Company. And again, don't forget, Clearwater Farms Organic Expo. That is tomorrow at the Doubletree. Hope to see you there. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem presented by Euclid Avenue Coin in Bay City.